Hey there, Zest for Life for another fresh review. Today I'll be talking about Date Night Sensual Autumn/Winter fragrances. Now these are fragrances which are alluring, mysterious, charming in their own way. They have a little bit of character about them, and I think they will set you apart from the crowd. The reason why I chose this is because it's raining outside, and sometimes you miss a loved one. Maybe you're not connected for a long time, but in the moments that matter, you want to make it count. So these date night or nighttime fragrances are all great, but the first thing I'm going to mention is view until the end of this video, because there will be an unboxing of another fragrance, another date night fragrance that I feel is especially alluring and quite unheard of or forgotten about, slept upon because it has been lost in the ages, and I want to bring it back and introduce it to you guys. So the first one is, well, let's get straight into it with a random. I had a script, but forget it. Prada Lahom Intense is a soapy, clean, very sexy, masculine, slightly leathery, sweet amber scent. It has iris to make it soapy and clean with that traditional classic soapiness that you get from amber Lahom. But this is a intense version of amber Lahom. There is amber Lahom Intense, but I believe that goes in a more green, mossy and conifer direction. And this is definitely the intense version of amber Lahom, because it has that soapy base, but the iris is clean. The tonka bean gives it a rough edge with a slight creamy freshness, and the labdanum makes it slightly spicy, alluring and captivating. So this, let me just spray it in the air, refresh my senses. Sweet from the iris, soapy top. There's a slight bit of bergamot in here just to keep it creamy and fresh. In terms of woody notes, I wouldn't call it a woody perfume. It goes straight on to the soapiness, but rather than going into a completely imperial leather bar of soap, it has that spicy, leathery touch from the labdanum and a creaminess from the tonka bean that really errs it away from that soapy territory and makes it very smooth and alluring. I love how calming and relaxing this fragrance is, with it has a slightly spicy and rough edge with that labdanum in the base, or leather note as we call it. Leather note is either made from labdanum or a combination of spices. I can taste a little bit of spice in my mouth. That really did spray everywhere and go in my mouth. Well, this is a spicy, alluring, clean, fresh scent. We got a lot to get through, but this is no sleeper. This is no slouch. So that is why I gave it its time. The next one is a classic. Dolce Gabbana, the One Eau de Parfum. Now, a lot of people have said, oh, maybe I've smelt this before and the like. There are scents that are similar, but nothing really comes close when you mix the orange blossom, really sexy ginger note. I love the ginger note. It comes in as an aromatic blast. It's very comforting, very warming with the amber and slight spiciness of tobacco. Orange blossom makes it creamy and soft, so it's not too spicy and off-putting or anything. The aromatic notes of ginger and cardamom make this slightly green and fresh, uplifting. I believe there's a slight note of vetiver in here, but it's overtaken by the almost unrolled fresh tobacco scent, which is spicy, masculine, and the ginger note is not too much to make it a sport fragrance. It just held down with the woody notes in the base. And I feel that this is a solid masculine fragrance. A little bit of pepper rounds this fragrance off. Yeah, I can feel that pepper. because I sprayed it twice. The longevity on this is about 7 hours. The Prada scent before it, Prada Lahom Intense, that is about 9 hours, so that's no slouch. This is a bit softer, so this is a go-to for anyone who wants to have a great date night, and it's soft enough to wear at nighttime too. So definitely check out Dolce Gabbana, the one. Next one, I had to get the script out for this because this is quite complex. Valentino Umo Intense. Now this is a clean, almost waxy iris, sensual scent that reminds me of Lahom Intense. That's the one. Lahom Intense has a similar waxy iris note, but the way that this differs is the creamy tonka bean, mandarin mixed with the waxy iris produces something that is very similar to, yes, it goes in a more creamy direction than Lahom Intense. Lahom Intense is slightly sweeter, but this has an almost violet-like iris. So the violet-like iris mixed with the creaminess of the tonka, sweetness of mandarin, gives a creamy sweetness, and in the base there's a leather note that is masculine but subdued enough to just lay at the bottom of all of that sweet, waxy, makeup-y iris that is very classy, very clean, and masculine at the same time with the leather. So definitely check out Valentino Umo Intense if you want something clean, fresh, a little bit similar to Prada Lahom Intense, but this goes in a more soapy direction, yet this is more clean in a sweet and creamy way. So slightly different, but they are noticeably different, and they serve different purposes for different kinds of people. You know, I would say this is more suited to a businessman kind of thing, and this is more of a warming scent that you can wear in winter too, in the festive season, to have some sweetness that is different from just maybe nutmeg and cinnamon and spices and pine wood, let's say, which is quite overdone. But this is original, fresh, classy, and just a gem of Italian perfumery. Valentino Intense, Umo Intense, Givenchy, another Italian brand. I said that too many times. Gentleman Only Absolute goes in a more spicy direction. It still has a creamy finish with that sandalwood and a sparkling creamy bergamot that is slightly zesty, but it doesn't overtake the creamy, spicy, sweet saffron, sultry attitude of this fragrance. It's never overbearing in its spiciness because the sweetness of saffron is very resinous with the, when mixed with the creamy sandalwood. So it has a very resinous contrast when the sweetness of the bergamot and the sweetness of the saffron contrasts against the creamy sandalwood base. I believe this also has some leather in it too, but it's a very powdery leather that is not really easy to describe. I'd say it's more of a clean black powdery note, like a black smoke, and that's why I love it. It has that airiness, that black smoke airiness, which is like very reminiscent of a midnight sky. So it has that midnight sky cloudiness, yet the resinous sweetness of the saffron mingled with the bergamot gives a sparkly, clean, and sexy finish. So Gentleman Only Absolute is another great nighttime scent. Fantastic for summer as well, because that freshness of any summer blue perfume you may wear in the daytime, that would be sweetened by the resins of resinous saffron sweetness. So Very luxurious, very sexy. Next one in the luxurious category. While we're talking about luxury, let's get to a higher price brand. Mancera Ud Vanilli is a it's a sweet floral cardamom, and let's get this on. Let's get a little spray on, because I really love the cardamom in this. The sweetness of the cardamom with the mixed floral note, and just a touch of dry, minimalistic, inoffensive oud, non-barnyard or anything. This is all about how the sweet floral and the green aromatic sweetness of spicy, slightly spiced cardamom mix with the treacle-like quality of vanilla. This has all the qualities of a great vanilla. Ud Vanilli has a sweet vanilla, which is like wafer sweet, and then it goes into an earthy dark treacle-like vanilla. So this has all the qualities of a great vanilla, and the cardamom sweetness of this is a standout, very alluring in its sweet, spicy nature. Little bit green, and the resinous nature of it isn't too sharp. I would feel that the sweetness of it comes from the florals, which is very natural, and it produces a very soft and comforting scent cloud with the treacle like vanilla, almost as if you're witnessing the end glows of amber in the fireplace. So this is a fantastic, comforting, sweet and floral date night scent. Now, when we're talking about sweet scents, it's good to differentiate one between the other. One was a cardamom and floral scent, and I believe that Amber Fever by Mancera has a nutty, whiskey, alluring note, which is feels like James Bond, you know. Just take a little of an almond whiskey or amaretto mix or something. I know he probably doesn't drink that, but it's a very smooth, laid back, yet sugary, sweet concoction. It's great for both sexes, really. It's unisex in its nature, as how it's sold, and the sweet, chocolatey, nutty notes, the chocolatey, creamy, nutty note, mixed with the soft, powdery amber and sugary, sweet note, almost syrupy, sweet sugar note in here, mixed with the whiskey in here, gives a spicy, sweet, nutty, seductive, airy, and comforting amber scent. I would say this is more about the nuts and whiskey rather than amber, but the effect of nuts, whiskey, and the sweetness, the peak of the sweetness, smells like an amber crystal, very sparkling amber. So this has all of it when you're thinking about sweet boy fragrance, something cute, something inoffensive, something nondescript but also recognizable in its sweetness. So most people, when they first smell you from about here or maybe 2 meters away, because this is a very strongly projecting scent, they would smell a sugary, almost like sugar-like sweetness. When they get closer, they'll smell a nutty finish, a nutty concoction, like just more like hazelnuts and walnuts together. Hazelnut and walnut. And when you get closer, you get a little bit syrupy, like for the ladies, this is similar to YSL, what is it called? Oh my god, I'm gonna have to get it. YSL Libra, because I had the box. This one's great for the ladies, and this has a similar whiskey note to YSL Libra. So for all the ladies out there who love this, you may love this too. And for all the men who are worried about wearing something sweet, everybody's got a sweet side to them, you know. Not everybody's chopping wood like a lumberjack all day or working like a dog, you know. We all have a soft side to us, and just let it out if you love it. If you love sweet fragrances and you like to relax by the TV, just the warm glow of a TV that remind you of amber if you don't have a fireplace. So everybody who likes to sit down and relax by the fireplace, they would understand the warmth of amber fever, that slight glow at the end of the night when you're just closing your eyes, that warmth that you feel that encapsulates you. That is the warmth that I feel in amber fever, from the top notes all the way down to the base. The slow whiskey and nutty concoction, it just drifts you away from the sweet captivating note to the whiskey note that just drifts you off. So that's how I feel about this fragrance, Amber Fever. Great for men who like to wear sweet fragrances, and women who like YSL Libra Intense, because that's the one with whiskey, for your information. So the next one is something cacao sweet. Very unusual to have cacao with iris and leather all in one perfume, but this does it beautifully smoothly. It has a very comforting vanilla note in the base, characteristic of all the Gentlemen by Givenchy range, but this mixes the cacao with iris to give something warm, like a, I was going to say like a mocha, but it's more of the light dusting of chocolate that you get on top of a mocha. And the sandalwood mixed with iris gives a creamy softness resembling the milk. So this does have a resemblance of a cool mocha, cool down mocha. If you were ever to smell a cool down dusted chocolate mocha, it has that creaminess, the softness, the milky sweetness, and you also have, do you have some pepper in it? I'm trying to remember. Yes, it has some patchouli, and that's what gives it its woody sweetness, and just holds that sweetness all the way to the end, and makes it from iris sweet, powdery sweet, not so waxy like Valentino Umo Intense, not so soapy like this, but this is more of a powdery, creamy, inoffensive, cooled mocha with a dark, not so harsh, a dark black leather that is inoffensive and very smooth. That black leather really ties up the smoothness of the cacao and stops it from being overly sweet, and really restrains it into a cooling, relaxing nighttime scent. I think this is great for date nights as well, because the projection and longevity of this is about, projection is about very good for the first 4 to 5 hours, or about 5 hours, yeah, I'd say, on me, because spices and chocolate and nuts work very well for me, and caramel. I know it sounds kind of strange, but because I'm brown, but it really does work. So it lasts on me for about 5 hours projection, and then it's about skin scent for the last 2 hours, let's say. So great powdery, creamy date night and nighttime sensual autumn winter scent. Definitely check out Gentleman Givenchy Boy Z edition. That was the one. The next one I'm going to talk about is another one with cacao in, Bad Boy by Carolina Herrera. Yes, you may have seen this in the shop and thought, what is so special about this random David Bowie copy symbol of a fragrance? And I thought, oh wow, you know, sign of the times, but let's check out what is in this fragrance without thinking, oh, this is just a recreation of trying to be a rock star. Everybody wants to be a rock star. You know, we got some Only the Brave. You know, we got Under the Sea. We got Black Excess. You know, is this another wannabe rock star of a fragrance? No, it's actually a smooth yet spicy, and the bad boy esque nature of this is the duality of the fragrance. It has a punchy, fruity note which would captivate you. It's fruity from the pink pepper that smells like pineapple, but it's restrained and sour enough to bring it down into the cacao and black pepper. Now, the black pepper and sage produce a natural, uplifting vibe, which really, I mean, when I think about it, and I try and remember my notes, no, sorry, the natural vibe of it mixed with the sweetness gives a it's a sweet yet rugged concoction, because the sweetness comes from the cacao and the sage and slightly rough pink pepper that has a pineapple and sour note, gives it a sort of lived in rough feel to the sweetness. So it's the duality of this fragrance that makes it a bad boy fragrance. I wouldn't say the fragrance of a cheater, but definitely someone who's different from one person, different from another. So duality is the characteristic of a bad boy, let's say. And this is a fantastic natural sweet fragrance. Inoffensive with that sage note. It's unusual, yet it's very welcome with the powdery cacao. And that pink pepper gives a sour sharpness that resembles pineapple, but also restrains it with the black pepper to give a sharp edge to this fragrance with that black pepper. So definitely check this one out. An unusual, sweet, alluring. It has a soft smoothness to it. And it definitely captures a little bit of spiciness in the nighttime. Check that one out. The last one I'm going to talk about is something that you may have heard of the brand before from multiple ad campaigns. But this is the intense version of Invictus. Now, this has a terrible sprayer. It has a great bottle. It's very popular from the original line. Is it better than the original? Many people say that the longevity of this, because it's about 6 hours, leaves much to be desired. But I believe a mix of that spicy bay leaf and aquatic freshness from Invictus mixed with a bourbon-like whiskey note gives this a rugged, smooth, fresh, and aquatic characteristic. This is, let's spray this one more time, because I sprayed this before, but I can't get enough of it, because Jack Daniel's is a very sweet and syrupy drink that is sometimes mixed with Coca-Cola, and I believe it has a feeling of not just bourbon or Jack Daniel's, let's say Jack Daniel's and Coca-Cola. So that Coca-Cola gives it the sweetness mixed with the aquatic note, with the characteristic signature Invictus aquatic note, which some people call bubblegum sweet, and this puts it in a more masculine, rugged, and sensual direction. Some people would say they would die when smelling this fragrance on a man, just because it's so handsomely sweet and slightly rugged with that lived-in whiskey feel. Bad Boy has also got slightly lived-in feel, but this has a more natural edge with the sage, and this has a lived-in feel with Bad Boy's also got a leather note with the natural sage, so it's natural, fresh, and ready to go with that rugged leather note. But this has a lived-in feel because the whiskey, yet the bay leaf gives it a sharp freshness. So it's lived in, yet it's not to mess with because it has an edge. So definitely check out Invictus Intense if you want a handsome, rugged, sensual nighttime scent. Now, all of these are great nighttime scents. I believe that, well, if you wear it any day of the week, you know, and if you have your favorite perfume, go for it. Wear it all the time. But these are my selection for nighttime. There were some honorable mentions that you may want to talk about that, like Jeremy Fragrance talked about Floriental. He says it's for a sexy Arabian prince. I bought that gleefully and just swept that up. And I feel that after owning Floriental, the clove in this, the plum and labdanum and liqueur sort of rum vibe. Yes, rum, plum and clove. I was going to put this out of it, but for some people who really like a strong leather contrasted with syrupy resins of amber and something unusually sweet like plum, this is great for autumn and winter. It may be too strong for some people with the clove, which seems to punch out, and I thought it was not really good for bedtime. But because I said date night and sensual autumn winter fragrances, I guess this could be put in the date night category or going out. But for bedtime, I think that the clove is a little bit too punchy to smell directly on the skin. So Floriental is a hit or miss, honorable mention. The second honorable mention, since I'm bringing out all the honorable mentions, is Bulgari MIB. No, it's Man in Black. It's not the Men in Black, but I always like to call it that because it reminds me, it's peppery, strong, yet it's sweet and clean. The woody notes have a strong, resolute foundation, yet the tuberose is uplifting, fresh, and keeps it on that clean vibe with the iris. So this is resolute, strong, fresh, clean, but the freshness of it comes from tuberose, which is a milky white floral, and I believe that pushes it into the daytime category. It's great to be to move with gusto, to move with motivation, to move with feeling, and really move with force, you know, and conviction with that pepper and cleanness. But all of that in a daytime scent can't really satisfy the sensual nature of a bedtime fragrance. So I put this as a daytime scent and possibly daytime date scent. But for nighttime, I think the mixed note of spices with the rum is great. It's a daytime going out and nighttime going out scent, but I think that the mixed spices in here are a little bit too peppery for sensual nighttime experiences. So that is the last of all of them, including the honorable mentions, which are great for daytime and possibly nighttime, but we will leave you to decide the rest. Please let me know if you have any other mentions that I forgot to talk about. Subscribe, because I love doing this, but I want more people to know about fragrances and what I'm talking about and how to get feeling into the fragrances that you buy. Not just to buy fragrances because they're new, but to actually buy something that would make you feel better and suit you as a person. You know, personally be great for you in your day-to-day life and your nightlife. And without further ado, we have the box opening. So it's time to go. Let's see what we have here. Ooh. Quick. I'm excited about this one. I think it's going to be a great night with all these fragrances. But I just had to add something special just because it came today. And I want to share with you everything new that I have. This box is pretty tough. Let's get this knife out again. Ooh, you're beating me up. You're beating me up. Oh, there we go. Love it. Hey, here comes the freshness. Woo! Alright. Oh my god. This is bubble galore. What is this? Oh, I'm freeing my perfume from the Matrix. Oh no. You're free. Oh wow. It's a double delivery. I just found out. I thought it was one. I was waiting for the second one. Hey. Yes. I would say this is a great daytime date fragrance. You can stretch this into nighttime because this has a great cardamom note. Because I tried this in store and I tried this in store. This is Armani Eau de Cidre or Lahom, a long forgotten fragrance. And another one from the same line, Armani Eau de Nuit pour Homme. This is the nighttime sensual fragrance that I want to talk about. Now let's spray it for the first time. First impression right at the end. So, without further ado, before I lose battery or, you know, we're running out of film, because we're doing this until it's done. Wow. I can not smell anything. I'm going to say I could smell it, but I really couldn't. I actually thought I was going to smell something the first time. Ooh. Come to Papa. This is that Iris. Iris, sweet cardamom, a night sky like powderiness that is... Wow. I haven't got the notes out on this one. But it's a sweet patchouli. A sweet patchouli wood with very smooth, slightly spicy cardamom. It has a little bit of Lahom, Lahom Nanoi. I said that completely wrong. It has that YSL vibe, but it's more of a sweet, powdery nighttime scent. The longevity on this is about 6 hours, all in all. So it doesn't actually last as long as the more modern fragrances and the like. But I believe that this powdery, soft sweetness is great in the moment. You don't need something overbearing. It's quite muted in a very gentlemanly way. All of these perfumes, where's the other one? Oh, I put the other one on the side. All of the ones from this Armani Eau de Nuit and Eau de Aromas and Eau de, what's this? Eau de Cardamom? Oh my god. Eau de Cidre. I get more cardamom than cedar from this actually, but there's a nice woody suede finish to it. So this has a very cooling night sky vibe, very sweet, very sensual, long forgotten about. But let me just overspray it on here. Actually, I'm going to reveal my arm for this one. Yes, it has a sweet darkness to it. The sweetness comes from an aromatic note, the sweetness of the cardamom. It actually comes from sweetness of cardamom, but there's something in the base, I think the patchouli maybe, that gives it not only the powderiness, but it gives it, oh wow, yeah, it smells a little bit like VIP Black 212 by Carolina Herrera, in the bitter, almost bitter, fresh and sweet, slightly almost blackberry-like dark note. In VIP Black, they have something a lot more aquatic and bitter, which is the note of caviar. But this goes in a lot sweeter and powdery, creamy, sweet direction. Actually, I wouldn't say it's creamy sweet. It has a nice woody patchouli base. And that patchouli, it gives a sweet freshness about it. That's right. And the cardamom just gives a little bit of a touch of sweetness just to air it on. Just keep it sweet. And that note in the top that smells like blackberry, that just carries on the airy theme of this. So this is like black smoke in the night, black smoke in a film noir movie. Very sensual, soft, seductive, dark. It's like the man that steps in from the step light, the shadow light in the street. He just comes out from the shade, and he smells like this dark, mysterious, airy midnight perfume that is both sweet, creamy, seductive, and has a dark shadow about it. So Armani Eau de Nuit is the last of the date night sensual autumn winter fragrances that I'll be reviewing today. Let me know if you loved that perfume review, because I love doing it, and I could talk forever about fragrances, but I'd love more people to listen. So don't forget to subscribe. Take care and stay fresh.